Good early morning, my peoples. Okay, let's get into Mr. Misty. How's that? Mr. Misty. All right, so let's jump in here and see what happened yesterday. 1647, down 8 points. Not much. It's probably hard to do to stay within 8 points when you got a 1,655. So it was down 0.5%. We were up a little more than 0.5%, 0.6%. Nice. Okay, well, we're not capped at all, right? We got a lot of running room. That's what I love about when the fund managers have these IVs and they're able to do that. When I saw that, I was just ecstatic. This is when we really want this to run to 1800 or even to 1830, and we just kill it on the synthetic and don't lose any on the weekly. So, but I'll take a win anyway it is, because I know the chart is setting up nicely. Okay, so let's take a look as we get closer and closer to our declaration time, right? Let's go out to holdings. That tells us a lot. So we are now collecting, right? This is dropping tremendously because it's up at 1830. All of our calls are up there, 885. It's only worth $10.80. And, you know, it's really worth nothing, but they can call it 10.8 with time premium, right? Because we're trading at 1647. So our synthetic is hovering right around the same, right? I think it was 11.5 yesterday, 10.8. Because what happens is the call also, as you get closer, even though it's not the 719, these vary. You know, a few $100s isn't a big deal. The put went down a hair, and this went down a little more, the call value, right? Because the time premium, it's only $100 above the strike, but the value is 321 because of all that time. This is well over, so there's no strike price value at all. It's all time premium. Okay. So we're now 58%, almost 59% that we've captured. And if we just stay where we are, that'll be 100% in 2 more trading days, right? That's why these are such a snapshot into everything. We collected 2.29. We could buy that back for 9.55, right? And that would be 58%. But we're not about to do that. We're going to let it run, and 2 days happen, and we collect all that money. Now, and I'll show you the bad news in our payments. It's still not great yet, but we will pay over $2. You pretty much can rest assured. So 34.39 is fair value. No shares added. They're saying 34.37, so I'll call that a tie. That's pretty close. I'm going to start retracking this. Sometimes when we switch out on the synthetic, all the charts and everything don't apply because we don't have 4. I like when you have 4 days and we keep moving through, then I can show you the synthetic effect. Weeklies, easy, right? Everything's setting in the 1830. Sorry, yeah, these are weekly. So we've got 10.55, and here we are at 16. I said 47, and that was yesterday, right? Or no, I take it back. This is 47 now, so it went down $8. That's what it is. I know it was 16.47 we were at. This guy is correctly, yeah, I got 19 on that. All right, so look at this chart. We're still right up here. I didn't update this one. Because it really doesn't need it. As long as we stay above this line, everything's positive, this declining line, which would be way down around 1200. So it's just a question, remember my target was 1800 just based on the head and shoulders right here. So eventually it'll get there. Does it form a flag now and just go sideways? I was telling the people in my YBit, there's a couple things that I'm seeing in the Slack group that I'm in. we talk a lot about models, and we follow gold and the precious miners, and I do more of the Bitcoin on my own. There's not too many Bitcoin people in there, but there's a lot of former professional traders and a lot of really smart people that analyze charts, and we look and talk about options and setups on trades. And so what I'm seeing in the models are saying there's a very high likelihood that gold breaks out sometime in middle of June, second week of June. And it may continue to, when I say break out, it's already run the new all-time highs. Then it dipped, and now it's close. It needs to clear around 24.30, 24.50. So I see that happening, and I see the gold stocks really taking off. Hence why I like GDXY. Not the next day or two, but soon. The miners are so undervalued, and I also see BTC taking off probably on that risk on at the same time, that fear trade. And it's either a geopolitical event that triggers it, or it simply is the Fed lowering rates. They have the FOMC on the 11th and 12th. And it's very likely, if they lower rates, the market's going to sing and dance and see it as a be-all, end-all. In reality, they're going to have to turn around and raise again at some point because inflation is fairly rampant. If they really wanted to attack this the way Paul Volcker attacked it in the 80s, they would raise rates really, really high to just kill inflation. The problem is our debt levels in 79 and 80 were nowhere near 140% of GDP. So it's just something they can't do. Even at current rates, we're going to get to where we can't fund Social Security, we can't pay for the military. The printing press has to keep going, and at some point, something has to give, right? And everybody keeps saying that, and they keep kicking the can down the road. It's just a question of, do we get some more bank runs, or do we get some more insolvency in the banks, similar to heading into 2008 and Silicon Valley, last year. So something is there. That's why I'm not so bullish on non-hard assets. And by hard assets, I mean commodities: gold, silver, metals, wheat, corn, lumber, things that you can't just print, things that are real. And I see a commodity wave, and right now they're also referring to stagflation. And stagflation is nothing more than wages and most things just stagnate, but there's this constant inflation, right? And we see it in our currencies worthless. We see it in food prices. So do they just repackage it from 12 ounces to 10 ounces? Well, they do that one time. The next time they raise the price, and the third time they go back and shrink the package. Well, you can only get away with that so long, but the consumer starts to get the idea, right? And that mistrust in the government, forgetting which side of the aisle you're on, even if you're on a side, it's simply manifesting itself. Gold's been smelling it out. Bitcoin lovers see it and know it, right? And so the stores of value and the stores of wealth are becoming in the metals and in the cryptos, and that's going to continue. And it's not like the stock market's going to melt down. I don't see a 29 deflation, but I clearly see at some point this year a 20% or more pullback. And even when that happens, that could happen later, and it's going to hurt miners and crypto and that kind of stuff. But I think they have a lot more upside, especially over the ensuing years. The hard assets and commodities will very much outperform the stock indexes. All right, so got off track, but I wanted to repeat all that. I like what's going here. I can't tell you which day this is going to break out and run. I wish I could, right? But I'm pretty assured that this is going to move. So anybody in MSTY is going to like this and should be liking it. And if Coney can get their act next week with the weeklies and just buy further out and accept that they're not going to get much cash and allow some run room, I think we'll be better off in Coney. So here's where we are in the payments. Again, let me just make sure, nothing in weeklies. I covered May. The synthetic, no trades, right? I always update this stuff. So we're setting on the 10.8, but I bring that over and show you that value here. So let's do payments and I can wrap this up. So we had 11.5 million gain that's now like 10.8. Okay, so update it for today. We should keep the 2.3 million, okay? And that's in this number, right? It doesn't look like there's a gain because we're showing a loss of $4 per share, but trust me, it's in there. If we took it out, this would be, you know, 19.6 or 19.7, and this would go up. So I see a $2 plus because I don't think they want MSTY to not be paid. We've got money here. Now, they borrowed a little bit last month and they had a big loss. So, I mean, could it be $1? It could be. I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. I think they pay us a couple dollars out of this bucket. Now, we have a chance still, right? If we turn and we run this week, or even next week, they can sell an 18.30 if we end the week at 17, right? Or maybe they go to 19, and we were to really move up, our synthetics are going to kill it, right? Because you're able to write your weekly very high with not much jeopardy. In order for us to be hurt, let me show you this again. So in order for this to hurt us here, we'd have to run to 1900, right? And then this would hurt us a little bit. But 1900, for what that would do here, this thing would go to 500. This would go to 120. So we would have a massive gain because the first 100 would give us money over here and not hurt us here. Whereas in Coney, you know, we're already at 230 and the bulk of our stuff is 220, 250. So we're already losing there. So if we go to 240 or 250, the synthetic in Coney makes it, but we lose it all back. Here we got a big gap and that we wrote way up there because they saw the same chart I saw. And because the IV is so high, they were able to get $25 on the 1830, right? And it really has no value other than 2 days of time premium. So anyway, either way we go, whether we run this week to 18 and this goes back to 20 or higher and we collect all this, or we run next week and we get it. Sooner or later, they probably this month, if they feel like it, they will go over here and roll, right? If we end up around 17 or 18, they'll probably roll out of the 1540, collect that cash, put it in here, right? Instead of just setting over there, and actually collect it in cash and then pay with that, right? So they've collected a lot of it, right? It's 35, but only 10.5 is sitting there on paper. But I think that's what they might do. All right, guys. Good position for us. I got to do my GDXY again this morning and get that out. All right. Again, this is not Bruce out. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. If you make financial decisions, please always consult a financial advisor. This is for fun and education and entertainment. All right, guys. Have a great day, whatever beholds you ahead. See ya. Bye.